So, Ron, what was it about the story that captivated you and made you want to film it?
Well, first it surprised me when I read it.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea that Moby Dick, the mythic story of the giant white whale, was inspired by real events, you know. So that was cool to me. I also thought it was a real great combination of entertainment values and qualities. You know, the epic action adventure that I thought could be cool, classic, but still kind of modern in its intensity. And the psychological journey of the characters, very modern also, in terms of some of the themes that come out through their storylines. And I thought the performance opportunities were rich. So I thought it was something, you know, fresh, original to offer audiences.
And then while you were reading the screenplay, was there any of the scenes that you envisioned that you had an idea of how you would want to film it?
I knew I wanted it to feel authentic and real, and with kind of the intensity almost of a war movie, you know, and the edginess of that. I knew I didn't want to romanticize whaling. I wanted to show it as the, you know, the sort of in its with all of its intensity.
Yeah, and then I learned that it took quite some time to make this film. What was the process?
Lots and lots of preparation, because while we had enough money to make it and make it well, we didn't have the money to experiment or make a lot of mistakes. So that meant we had to plan everything, and it was so complicated. Probably the most complicated movie that I've ever done. But I was very grateful to have had the experiences of movies like Apollo 13, or going back a long time, you know, Cocoon, or even the action from the movie Rush. You know, to bring to bear on the story.
Yeah, and I watched the film and it's amazing. How did you go about creating Nantucket? If you didn't know that it was made in the studio, you'd be blown away.
Well, that's high praise. I mean, every approach in the history of movies was applied to this film, from, you know, the oldest basic filmmaking approaches to, you know, the most cutting edge computer-generated technology. And you know, in this case, we built Nantucket, and that was the old school way of bringing that to life. But you know, that's what we chose.
Yeah. And then, what were some of the challenges you faced during filming?
I think the biggest challenges were trying to sort of deal with the weather on the ocean, of course. Sometimes it would create a storm. We'd have to move, go shoot something else. Once we even went on land, and there was a flash flood there, and we got driven away from our location. So that was always a factor. But trying to create the environment where the actors could excel despite how uncomfortable it was, and what their physical state of mind was, and the challenges that they were dealing with.
And then my last question, what do you hope viewers will take out of the film?
Well, I hope that and what I'm finding from our audiences so far is that different people take different things from the movie. For some, it's just a full, fun adventure. You can bring the family. It's that kind of you know, sort of big experience on the screen. And then others really look at it from a sort of modern political point of view and explore it that way. You know, I think that. It's one of those stories that speaks to different people in different ways, and that excites me.